Hey, what's going on, fam? Listen, during our family retreat this year, as we were preparing for the new year, me and my wife started talking about just messages that God was downloading into us. And one of the things that I want to talk to you right quick about and drop a quick nugget in, because I want to drop it on you at the beginning of the year, and I want you to be paying attention. Listen, the enemy is going to show up in your life. That's a given. I mean, he don't need a special invitation. That is really just a given. He's going to show up. But I want to talk to you about three specific things he's going to challenge when he shows up to you this time. And I want you to reflect on the story about when Jesus went out into the wilderness. And when after he had fasted and prayed for 40 days, and then the enemy showed up. Because the three things that the enemy tried in Jesus are going to be the three things that the enemy is going to focus on you. And there's some things that you need to do. The first thing is the enemy is going to challenge you at your point of hunger. Where's hunger? Hunger is wherever you're lacking. If your prayer life is lacking, he's going to attack you there. If your spiritual life is lacking, he's going to attack you there. If your discipline is lacking, he's going to attack you there. He is going to attack you wherever you have lack. That's what hunger is. Hunger is the lack of food. So I want you to understand that the devil is going to attack you at the point of your hunger. So you need to be asking and praying in this season right now, God, show me where I have lack so that I will be sound, that when the enemy shows up, I won't be hungry, right? So now, the next area that he's going to attack you in is the horn blowing. Nah, ain't no horn blowing. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so the next area that he's going to attack you in is the area of your identity. He said to Jesus, if you are the Son of God, right? So he questioned his identity. And he's going to come to you in those different ways, but it's not going to be as blatant as if you are. But there's going to be activities and things that you're going to be invited to that are going to look very spiritual. And it's going to really be saying at its core, if you are. He's going to attack you at the area of your identity of if you are a child of God, if you are a son or a daughter of the King, if you are. And so you've got to understand and pray for a spirit of discernment so that you'll know that you're not doing things and connecting yourself to things that are contrary to your identity as a son or a daughter of the King. And the third area that he's going to attack you in is the area of contentment. Are you content in what God has for you? Now, Jesus was King of Kings, Lord of Lords before he ever came here. He stepped off of the throne to come down here and give his life for us, right? And in that season of his life, he was not the reigning king. In that season of his life, he was not in his throne and all of his royal garments and his vestments, but he was content where he was. But the devil's like, hey, I'll give you all this. You wouldn't, if you was with me, you wouldn't even have to roll like this. I'll give you all these things if you'll but worship me. And God needs to know that you can be content in whatever state that you're in, because there are going to be seasons of ebb and flows. Even when you are on top, you got to be content, because one of the things that really gets us sideways with God is that desire, that disease of more and more and more and more. You've got to get to a place of what content. I want you to start to pray and say, what will I be content with financially? What will I be content with from a provision perspective? What is going to be the thing that I'm going to be content with? What engagements am I going to be content with? Because some of you are going to get thrown off because you're not going to be content ministering where God wants you to minister. You want to be everywhere. You want to be everywhere. And God's like, no, I need you to be in the specific places that I ordained for you. Even when Jesus came, he wasn't everywhere. It was a progressive thing. He started with the house of Israel, then he worked his way out. For some of you, it's going to be, you're going to start in a place and going to work your way out, but don't rush it, because the devil will try and rush you to a stage that you're not ready for, because you hadn't dealt with a hunger that's going to show up when you hit that particular stage, and it's going to cause you to fall. And your identity is going to come into question. So as you go into 2024, remember, deal with your hunger, be sure of your identity, and be at peace with wherever God has you at. That's all I have for you, and I'll see you on the next video. God bless.